This is Jim with Next Level Coaching, and today we're talking to Lacey Morris. Um, Actually, I just gave a big introduction about her, but it didn't get recorded, so I'm gonna do it over. I'm just gonna ask you straight away, how do you get it all done? Like, you got kids, you got a husband, you got a branch, you donate your, I don't know, a week or two a year to Guatemala to help kids,
Yeah.
which is unbelievable. And you're doing 18 to 20 loans a month. Was that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how do you do it all? Like, what's your secret? Like, people look at that and they're like, no way, it's impossible.
Well, the secret's years and years and years of coaching. And
Uh,
I would say years and years of that life wheel that we do. And, the life wheel looks at all 7 areas in your life. And I've always been the type of person who I always want to get better. And so when I do that life wheel, it's so important not to do that every once in a while, like every single year, because as soon as you're like, oh, I kind of suck in my friend zone. And the friend zone is where I would always say is where I let the time not, I don't give as much time to my friends as I'd like because I'm giving to all these other areas. And so when I start focusing on friends and being intentional on doing better as a friend, something else gives a little bit. And
uh,
so looking at that wheel of life every year has allowed me. But when I'm looking at the friend zone, like for me, I said, okay, I don't need to do a ton, but what if I schedule 2 things a year that I do myself that brings all of my friends together? And so once I start making systems for that, I can do it pretty well, right? And I don't have to always just concentrate on that. So I would say the answer to that is definitely that wheel of life, and continuing to do that every single year. Because if you don't, you get really good in some areas and you start really losing focus on others.
so what Lacey's talking about is we do 2 events a year, and the event we do in November, late October, early November, depending on
Oh,
the year, we do goal planning and we do personal goals. And so that's what you're talking about is setting goals each year in those 7 areas, and just
yeah,
so people knew what you're talking about.
yeah.
Um, and I wow. When you instead of me telling you how I felt, I want to ask you. So when you first started doing those goal setting, how did you
Mhm.
feel about it? Like to take
Well,
yourself back way back before you started setting goals, and then all of a sudden you're in this environment where you're supposed to write down something that you're going to do, almost like a promise, right?
yeah.
How did it make
Well,
you feel?
I felt really crappy because I felt like I really kind of gave myself really low scores all around because I always just felt like, I mean, here's the truth in our industry, we could work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and still have more that we could do, especially in sales. So there's unlimited pressure on, am I doing enough all the time? And so when I first did that exercise, I felt I'm kind of a crappy person. And then I started realizing, no, I'm not, but I need to make sure I'm taking time to focus where I need to put my focus. And, it's not just this form, but with coaching, like things, I've been taught when to say no a lot more. I've been taught when I'm saying yes to something, I'm saying no to something else. And those are skills that only a coach can do when you're in the moment, right? And when I say when you're in the moment, like you get on a call and you're frazzled and everything's going wrong and your team's blowing up and this or that, but a coach can help you and guide you through some of that. But they teach you these life skills that hopefully you just continue. And I've carried these over and over and over, but I've always tried to put a system or a process in place to help me because I don't remember everything. I don't know about you. I know you've done way more loans than me over the years, but it's hard to remember everything. So I have to build something to make sure, ooh, that's a really good idea, but I want to continue it. And so when you ask me how do I do it all,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
constantly working on that. And I'm not perfect. I'm not great. But I'll tell you what, the more and more I work on it, the better I get in all those little areas, little by little. And it's been a long journey for sure.
So like the first time you did it, you realized you were given too much of like I always say that I have this limited amount of energy each day, right? Like a pie, like a pizza pie.
Yeah.
And the more slices that there are, then the less each slice gets.
Yep.
Um, that's what life does for me mentally, right? It's like, okay, but if I won't give more, I gotta eliminate something or give less to something. So I think we had the same experience, but the first time you did it, did you feel like you were given too much to work and not to the other areas? Because
Um,
that's how I felt. Like I looked
yes,
at the other
for
areas
sure.
and I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. But I also, I knew early on when my kids were young and even before then that I wanted to give everything I had to build something big, why I could, because I knew once my kids got a little bit older, I wanted to be very involved. And so, like, I did have to make some sacrifices, to build what I wanted to build, to have the life I wanted in the future. Again, another coaching exercise is, we would do the 1 year and the 5 year plan. And so I always had that longer term picture of what I wanted, but how do I get there? And so there definitely were some sacrifices, but yes, I felt, in the beginning, but I had to draw some hard lines. I mean, I remember the very, very first interview I had with Todd. I did not work at Summit, but with Todd to get into the core. And he asked me about my schedule and he asked me how often I was going home. And he made me write him a letter saying to my family while on the phone, I'm going to be at home these certain days. And if I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm going to pay a penalty and to take it home and get it signed. I'm very thankful I had that super early on, and with when my kids were young. And I took that home, and I still have my kid's signature. I framed that bad boy because it's still in my house, and my Wyatt couldn't even spell his name. All those things, but coaching provided that kind of stuff to be able to look at me and teach me where I'm at right now, how to get through this, but also not just to get through it, to build the skills because it takes a lot of skills.
Yeah. Like we take crazy salespeople and provide structure, and then they kind of blow up, right?
Yeah, if they do it.
Yeah, if they do the work. So what are you seeing like what's going on in your business right now? Like what do you see in the market? What are the challenge, like two questions, challenges and opportunities? It's like to day, like it's September 2025. The market is always changing, but I feel like it's changing right now. So like what are your biggest challenges first?
Yeah.
And then we'll go to opportunities. And you're
Um,
like your business.
yeah, so in my business, well, if you don't mind, I'm going to do it the opposite, but
Sure.
the biggest opportunities right now is the long hard work is paying off right now. Right now in this moment of outlasting everybody, of making sure over this drought that I was staying super visible in front of a ton of people. And it is working right now. Todd has been very clear on you can't just do things the way you've always done them for so long. And I am very routine and I like to stick to the stuff that I know that works. And I still do that. So I haven't changed from that. But I've added in a couple like stools to the legs to the stool. I always
There
mess
you go.
up. Yeah, I always mess this stuff up. And so I've added, and what I mean by that is like doing the podcast. Now, I don't expect anybody to go to this podcast and oh, I'm going to do a mortgage with her. It might happen, and we're seeing a tiny bit of that. But what I'm doing now is making sure that I am out there on top of what I've always done and all of my basic stuff that I've learned through coaching that I've never gotten away from. But now it's being having a good presence, and that presence is through my podcast, through my social media marketing, and through still doing my lunch and learns and still belly to belly because that's who I am. Like I love being belly to belly with people. And so I didn't want to do that stuff. I didn't want to do that marketing stuff. I didn't want to do that social media stuff. I knew I wouldn't do it on my own, so I had to have somebody help me do that. Like I know
Yeah.
who I am. I'm not going to work out on my own. Like I have to have someone hold me accountable to certain things that I hate doing. And so I have to have somebody do that or I just won't do it. I will do it for somebody else. I will not do it for myself.
Hey,
So I
why
have
is that? Why is that? Why are
I
we
don't
like that?
know. I am so disciplined in so many areas of my life, and people think, oh, Lacey's perfect. I'm not. Gosh, I'm so not. Like working out, I hate it. I don't get the high that everybody gets on working out. I don't leave that thinking, oh, I'm a better person. Like I hate it. So I wrestle with that. That is still what my struggle after 20 years of coaching. It probably always will be.
Yeah.
But I know I have to have people push me in those areas because I don't have the drive in those areas, right? I have the drive in other areas. You don't have to tell me to work. Like I've never had a boss that after I got
Yeah.
into mortgage, it tells me I have to be here. Like I'm going to be here. I'm going to get my stuff done. Um, so the opportunity now is all of those things are working, and I've been working on them for a while even when they weren't working. So that's the thing. I think everybody wants just instant gratification, and when I commit to doing something, I say I'm just going to do it for this certain time. I don't even think about quitting it or nothing. Like I just
Yeah.
have to finish it. And that's the piece I think that makes those things work. Now, the opportunity piece is,
Hold on. I want to stay there for a minute.
yeah,
So you're focused like you said the opportunity is something you've been doing that's paying off. So the opportunity, like, what if I wasn't doing that? Like, what you're talking about is being highly active and highly visible,
yep,
right? So at next level, we say you got to go deep with 10 to 20 referral partners because who could manage more than that and truly be deep, is my opinion,
yep,
right? And then wide with a bunch that maybe don't want a relationship deep, but they want you to help them like make more money or whatever. And I was always skeptical. It's not the right word. People think I didn't believe in social media, or that's not really. I didn't communicate well. So how are you? Like, what is your expectation? This is what I want to know. It took me a while to get the question. Like, what's your expectation of the effort you put into social media? I know that it's to be highly visible, or at least I believe it's to be highly visible. But what's your expectation? Like, because for me, if I expect like this certain result and I expect it to happen in a certain amount of time and it doesn't, at some point, one of my weaknesses can be I'll stop.
yeah. So I don't have any expectation on getting anything out of it. Okay. So with social media, what I have learned is I have to do it, whether I like it or not. And I've even taken like I've been off social media personally myself now. Like we did it for a 25-day challenge through our church. I've done it a little bit longer than that, like completely. So I had to have somebody help me with my personal side too, why I deleted all apps. I even took a sabbatical against Amazon, Jen. Like
Me too.
talk,
Me too. That place
talk
is
about
crazy. It's very expensive.
talk about
I
strength,
can't
okay?
stand it. Yeah.
And so, but it's so good. Like it's so good for the mind and soul to be
Hold on. Now I gotta learn about the sabbatical. You deleted apps? When did you delete?
completely. Yeah. So I didn't delete my account. So I
Yeah.
have somebody who helps me with my social media and she still got on it, but I didn't get on it, period. I didn't get it on it from my phone and I didn't get on it from my computer for that long. Now, I know it's important for my business, so it was still up and running, and
Yeah.
she was still posting the videos. So I have somebody who comes and helps me. We film about 6 to 8 videos per time. Like I want to get it all done in one area, be done, and her put them in because I won't do it on my own. So while I'm working, I literally have a notepad here that talks about videos. So anytime someone asks me a question or something, I'll just jot it down. This would make a good video. So when her and I get
Give me
together,
like two examples because I need work on this. Two
okay,
examples
well,
that you would jot down during the go.
this one just happened. And just so you know, and I just learned about this, this video just went viral, and I've never done that before. I had to ask what that means. But I did a video because my processor called and said, "Hey, I need you to call Grandpa. He is a grandpa, one of our borrowers, and he wanted to give a gift of 50 grand, but now he only wants to do 18 because he doesn't want to pay taxes on it. Can you call and discuss this with him?" So I was a little frustrated that my processor wanted me to do this and not her, but I realized she doesn't know the answer. I said, "Great, I'll do it." This is another tag for ChatGTP. So I know the answer to this, but I put in the chat, here how you do it. I put in there and I said, "Hey, Grandpa wants to give more money. I know he can. So from a CPA and a mortgage standpoint, please help me reassure Grandpa that he can do this." And Chat came back and told me how to like beautifully do this. So I made a video on it. Okay. And so
Oh,
I wrote that down when that happened. I took care of Grandpa. I also then call my processor and I say, "Hey, I want to walk through this with you." I shared screen. I showed her what I put in the chat. I showed her the response. And I said, "If you would have done that with that response, would you have felt comfortable with responding to him?" And she's like, "Yeah, I would have had that conversation in a heartbeat." So I showed her how to utilize that. So because she has no problem making the call. She just wants to feel confident in her answer. So
yeah.
it gave her the answer that she needed. I taught her how to do that. I made a video pretty quickly, and this one went viral. And then, so those are just how, like, I have systems in place. I know she actually comes to my house. We're going to do them tomorrow at my house where she's going to film 6. So I got to make sure I have 2 or 3 because she always brings 2 or 3, 2 that she wants me to do. We get them done. It takes us an hour, is it, to get 6 videos done. And she takes care of posting them for me because I won't do it because I don't like it. So
Yeah.
that's who I am. I don't like it. So I'm not going to be doing it, even though I know it's valuable.
Yeah,
But
but
I don't have any expectations around what I'm going to get out of it, Jen, because what I have been told is we're going and we're already heading into this. We're going into this place where even if we get a warm referral from a family member or whatever, they will 100% look us up. And when they look us up, if they just see one thing, or do they see 10 things, or if they use chat to look us up, chat will see all of these things. And it will instantly pull from all of these different directions and say, here's who this person is. I would highly suggest working with them. So I have to make sure I have all of these extra things so that in this digital world where everybody's going to be going, it can pull enough places. Now, Todd even wants me to write a book. I don't want to write a book, Jen. I'm like, no one's going to read my book. Like,
yeah, but hold on, girl, right there.
yeah,
Because what you said is humongous. Like
yeah,
what you're saying is like chat, like 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, everybody that I talk to that I think is smart is like the only thing that's going to matter or the biggest value is the relationships that a loan officer originator has. Fulfillment is going to be where AI shines the most.
yeah,
It'll shine a little bit in origination, but it'll shine more in fulfillment, processing, underwriting, all those kinds of things. And content is the biggest struggle for people. It's
yep,
biggest struggle for me. And you just gave a huge tip, and I want to emphasize it. Like you just whatever questions your clients ask, you just use that for content.
yep. This got asked this morning. Hey, this was a realtor call me this morning and say, hey, will you walk me through how a VA assumption loan works? Yeah. So I wrote it down
That's
because
good.
it's probably something that a lot of people, so I get questions all the time. I just had to come up with a system to write these questions down to make into videos because I don't like doing them. So now, and I can talk about that in 2 seconds, right? But if I didn't, I could use chat and I could tell chat, hey, I'm going to do a video. I want to teach people about VA assumptions. And it could help me with that. So even if you don't, like you and I both have a ton of years of experience originating and guidelines and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But that's doable for even somebody who doesn't. If you don't know a question to an answer to a question, just say, you know what, I'm going to pull up the guides. I'm going to call you right back. Then you do it all. Nobody cares if you do that. They don't get mad because you just say guides change all the time. You find all that research. Now it's so fast at our fingertips. So it's not that it's going to replace us. It's that we have to utilize it, right? Like
Yeah.
we have to utilize it and utilize it fast to be able to help us.
Yeah, your content is third-party validation,
Hmm.
right? So like the triangle of trust, yeah,
Yep.
you're using social media to close the triangle on your
Yep.
clients. That's what I'm just realizing talking to you. It's super smart. I never thought of the content build up, so that when people look me up, that they get the more good stuff I put out there, the more they're gonna
Gonna find.
believe that they made the right choice. And every time I bought a house, I've been scared, so that makes a lot of sense. Um, so then what's the struggle? Like day to day in your business, leads, conversion, uh, referral partners, like what's the biggest struggle you guys have in this market?
So we're doing really well, like really, really well, leads wise, loans wise, all that. So I'm very blessed in that realm, but I'd still definitely struggle. And my struggle right now, and I think this is something we all go back to, is the time management. How do we get it all done in the right time? And I can do that. I know the skills around that, but guys, it always changes. And kind of like that wheel of life, if we're not reassessing it, we're finding ourselves in that problem and not even realizing it in a problem. Like as I say it out loud, I'm like, I've been coaching forever and I've coached forever. I shouldn't have time management problems. Yeah, because I take on things and I want to do more things and I change this or I hire this. And all of a sudden, we're
Yeah.
getting grabbed from different places than we were grabbed before, and we don't take the time to go back and figure out how am I going to get it all done?
Do you ever get bored?
No,
Like, like,
never.
if, I mean, like, but hold on, let me, so like in business, right? You're doing it, you're like time management is a journey.
Hmm.
It's not a destination. Like like I get coached. I run next level coaching and I get coached and I had my coach go through my calendar and they were disgusted at how my time management was. And I thought I was really good.
Yeah.
Their eyes were like, you let your calendar get double booked. And I know when it happens, you don't do either one. And I'm like, how'd you know that? And so it's a journey. But when it comes to your time management, what is the biggest thing that you like slide back into as there? For me, I get bored and then I look for new things, even though they may not help my business, because I just get bored.
Yeah.
Like what happens to you?
I don't get bored, but that's probably so I somehow, even after originating this long, I am still in love with the buyer's consultation.
Yeah,
I
it's the
am.
best part. It's the best part.
It is the best
It's the
part.
best part.
And, I've been asked, in different years to move up and do this or do that. And until I lose that fire in my belly, I'm not going to do it. Like, because I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's somebody who has bought 10 homes or the one. When I get done with a meeting, the adrenaline that I get from them leaving and saying, no one's ever done this with me before.
Wow. Yeah.
It's such fulfilling that fulfills me. And so, like, for me, my perfect day is 4 to 5 buyers consults. Now,
Mhm.
then after my consult, because I go deep with people and really want to understand where they're going in 5, 10 years, and I do this really cool after I meet with them, this recap, and I spend some good time on it. That's where the time management, so I have gotten kind of back into my old ways of taking that stuff and doing that stuff at home at night. And
Oh,
I did that for years and years and years. And I got away from it and I got back to it now because I'm back in love with the whole story and how to help them. And so right now, so my struggle right now is that time management piece. But what I will tell you is I've used chat to really help me with my meeting recaps, with my tables that I build. I used to spend 15 to 20 minutes per meeting to build this special table. And it's special. People tell me all the time how much they love it, and so do their realtors. So I never got away from doing it, even though it was time consuming. Well, I spent the time on a weekend to build chat, to build that table for me. I had to play with it for a little bit. But if you think about that, if it's 15 minutes minimum per one, and I have 25 consultations to 30 a month, think of the time it just saved me.
oh
And
yeah.
so, but I got to take the time to build that, right? And so right now what I'm doing is I don't want to hire more people, but I do want to look at everybody's on my team and what we do and how can we use chat to leverage, take stuff off their plate so that they can do the things that chat can't do, but we can take away the things that chat can do that takes a lot of time. So that's where we're at right now is really that process of how do we become more efficient, but still being able to be the human connection, the belly to belly relationship that we want.
Okay, so what would you say? Like, this is going to go out to thousands and thousands of loan reps, right? And the average loan officer now is up to, it's down to like point 0.4, 0.7 loans a month.
Yeah.
But the market has like right sized. I'm not saying the market's buyer or seller. It depends on your area. Um, but it's definitely leaning towards seller in my area. Uh, but the number of loan officers compared to the number of loans is kind of right sized. And so I think that we're on a run already. Like
Yep.
the runs are 7 to 10 years, and I think we're 6 months into a run. Honestly, I really do. Um, and so in our coaching program, we really push what you just said is your favorite thing, which is the consultation in person.
Yeah.
And so many, especially new loan reps in our program and outside, I struggle with getting them to meet their clients in person, like 80% of the time, and the rest by Zoom. What would you say to them? What are they missing out on by resisting that? They're resisting the meeting, right? Oh, the bars won't come. Oh, they always want to meet at night. And we have tactics to deal with that. But let's say we dealt with that and they still don't want to do it. What would you say to them?
Well, it's them. It's
The
them.
loan officers,
The
oh yeah,
loan
it's them.
officer, it's the loan officer choosing not to find a way.
Oh, you
And
talk them into doing it.
it's a brain block that they just, and right when you're coaching that you're going to just keep getting excuses after excuses, right? And if that's what they want, then that's the business that they're picking. But I'm telling you, like if that is the loan officer that you're going to be, you will be replaced by chat. You will be replaced by AI. Period, because you're not needed. And I say that because I do Zoom, guys. I do Zoom, and I do several of them, especially because of all of the reasons. But we push and we push and we push face to face. Period. Zoom's better. I will not take a phone call. Like I will get the borrower on the phone and I will tell them why I won't take a phone call, why I need to see them, either on screen or this way. But guys, you can't build a relationship with somebody when you can't see them. And like when I'm explaining something to Jim, I know he's listening and I know he understands when he does these kind of things or he gets excited or he gets it like you can develop a relationship with a person just in that, just in knowing that. And you, in person is so where that happens.
Yeah.
And I connect so much deeper with my clients, and when you connect deeper with your clients, all the other things grow. When I say all the other things, your CCRs grow, your PCRs grow, your relationships grow when you connect. And you can connect. The human body connects so much better in person. It just does. And you get skills to be better at connecting. You build those skills while you stay in coaching. But when you are in person, it cannot be replaced.
You hit on like three things. So that I want to emphasize. The first thing is people are 80% more likely to refer you during the process than they are after.
Mhm.
So that's one good reason to meet your clients in person, right?
Yep.
Uh, the second is what you said was the relationship. And then the third one you touched on, but I don't know if you said it directly. It's like you can read their body to see if they're understanding or if they're not,
Yep.
right?
100%.
And then you can slow down better or speed up better or change a little bit. So that they go back to your referral partner and say, wow, Lacey's awesome, which I'm sure happens all the time. That doesn't happen when you don't meet them in person. It
Right.
doesn't happen.
Right.
And it's like my rally cry this year and next year is like you gotta meet 80 or 90% of your people sitting down face to face, and Zoom's gotta be 10%. And it's like we're healing from COVID still around that, you know?
Well, my new slogan that I've been pumping to all my agents is I will be the last lender in my town, in Lee Summit, with an office that people can come in and meet. I promise you, you mark my words, I will be the last one meeting people face to face.
I love that.
While everybody else is quitting and working from home and doing phone calls, I will still care about your client, have a place where they can come and really feel like they can understand this whole process.
You say that to them
I say it to them.
all the
I
time.
tell them all the time, you mark my words, I will
I
be the
believe
last
I,
one.
I believe you, but I know people listening, they don't say this stuff.
Oh, I'm bold. I have learned to be more direct than ever about the things. Now I'm going to back it up. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere. Like I believe that. That's why I can say those things. Like
Oh,
I believe that I will be here and I will be the last lender in our market. There's two lenders in my area that coach with me at our last coaching firm. They both have shut down their offices. They're still producing, but they are all doing everything from home and online. And does that work? Maybe it does for them. However they're doing it, they're going after a ton of markets. It's a whole different world. But I see it happening. I don't see anybody staking a claim that I'm going to still be the last one being here and
yeah, I
with
love
your
that.
client.
Like I have a page of notes. Um, you're like in our program, I always talk about being a boutique lender. You're a boutique lender. You're like people come in and you already know them and it's personable. And I want to cover one more topic because you've got that nailed down. So in next level, we always say go deep with 10 to 20, wide with 500. What's your best? I mean, are you doing the 500 yet? And if you're not, what you're struggling. If you are, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah,
so just to clarify for people listening, you know, you can't know everybody's kids' names for 500 people. I can't.
sure.
Maybe you can, but I can't.
Uh-uh.
I got to be picky about the ones I hang out with. I got to be picky about the ones that I have relationship with, because you are who you hang out with. So super deep with 10 to 20 really good referral partners. But then loan amounts are bigger, sales prices are bigger. Realtors do less units than they
Mm.
used to do and still like have a life,
Yep.
provide for their families. So if we want to do more loans, we got to have more in front of more people. So your top two or three tactics around going wide.
Okay, so my first tactic is every single person that I ever have to meet or deal with when doing a transaction or anything goes into my system, right? As a real estate agent, so they get all of our automatic automated emails, all that kind of stuff. They go into our realtor list that we have. So on my team, we have a whole realtor list, and then we have them broken down into A's, B's, and C's. So they go into the C, that's the 500 is what I would say, that gets all of our information. They get all of our videos when we do our videos. They get all of our invites unless it's a smaller VIP, but they're not getting my phone calls all the time. They're not getting any of that kind of stuff. It's just the program. So when I do a program video, I have those scheduled where I film those once a month on Fridays. They get those. And so anytime I can put anybody in there. So if I go somewhere to an event and there's a bunch of realtors, I'll grab their card. They go in that. So that piece is just about a lot of people, right? And I got way more than 500. But it is just at any point in contact, if they're in the real estate world, they're in there. Now, we take that then, and we have another plan that we put them into social media and all of those kind of things. I don't do any of that part. But my job is just to bring the information for them for that to get done. Now, I used to have to do all that part. I just don't do any of that part anymore. So that's one way.
I'm taking notes, keep going.
Nope, you're fine. The other way is when I do have a little bit of time, I get a little bit strategic on who I want to target. And I use things like MMI for that. So, might sound bad, but I'm just going to go for it. The other day I was meeting with a new Will, and he was telling me he's got two big lenders that he mainly works with. One's pretty good. The other one's.
But he was sitting down with you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cracks me up.
Yeah.
People don't really get that. They tell you they got a client, they're super loyal to their loan officer, but then they're meeting with you, which like you got to realize what that means. Keep going.
He's having lunch with me, and he says, "Yeah, I use this guy. I know him pretty well. He's a good guy." And he goes, "And then I use this other lady for like my bond loans and for kind of all my other junk." I said, "Okay, cool." So but then he says, "But she's not been great recently. She's getting older. She's traveling. She doesn't want to work near as much." And I'm all hearing here is opportunity. Okay. So when I get back, I look up her top realtors that she works with in MMI, and they're going to be on my target list for a while. Because if he's already telling me he's having some problems, everybody else is too. So that's where I get a little bit more strategic, is when people will open up. If you're at lunch with somebody and you just want to know, like, tell me what you're doing right now. Tell me who you're working with. Like, and I'm all, I do care about that. If someone says they're super loyal, this isn't just a sales line. I love loyal people. Like my A's are loyal. So I understand that. I do. Tell me about who you use second. Tell me about who your second person is if this guy doesn't want to do it or if this guy doesn't have the program. That's where I can get to figure that piece out. So I'll just be a little strategic around things like that to get into that 500. If they're a big.
Yeah, well, hold on. What you just said is so humongous. It's so humongous. So you go in, sit down with a realtor, and you have super low expectations of that meeting.
Yeah.
And if you're missing, well, if they, well, first of all, yes, right. If it's not a fit, it's not a fit. I agree. But second of all, if they're easy to get, they're easy to leave. Mm-hmm. So if your expectation is that every referral partner meeting you go on, that success is if they agree to send you leads, I mean, you're getting a bunch of people that are easily going to dump you.
Yep.
And that's heartbreaking, and it actually damages my confidence that people need me, right? Like I get all excited when they say yes, and then I get all down when they dump me. And the ones who say no is you've done this, and when you said it, I've done this. I get excited when they say no.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
Well, and it's someone that you would want because they're going to be long term. If you may have to chase them years and years and years, but then you'll have them years and years and years. And isn't that who you want to work with anyway?
100%.
Yeah. So I just want to emphasize that for people, like, because they won't go on that meeting. They won't like before I got taught how to do it. I didn't want to go on the meeting because I didn't want to. I knew most likely I wasn't going to get them, and that sucks.
Yeah.
And so I just didn't go.
Well, you said it too. It's a low expectation. That's why we have to do a lot of them. Okay. Because you never know, like you could be reaching out to somebody and they're super loyal and they have a great relationship. And it could be like that for a couple years and you just check on them every once in a while and whatnot. But then all of a sudden that person moves or that person has life
Yes.
problems or something happens and you are right there. Now, if you only had done that to 3 people over the last 10 years, your business isn't going to increase. But if you did that over 30 people over the last 3 years, the chances are you're going to get a lot more. So it does become about the numbers and low expectations up front. Like I know what value I bring. I know what service I bring, what communication, what my team does. I fully believe in that. So it's either somebody told me this and I love it when they told me this. Um, this is such a good line too. Well, I was actually being recruited and, I told him no. And he goes, I really appreciate that you said that. I didn't really hear a no. I just heard not right now. And it kind of shocked me because I'm like, I'm going to use that because that is true if that person's going to stay consistent and not, I don't want to be annoyed by somebody every month or week or whatever.
Yeah,
Like I'm going to ban them, but like just not right now. So you got to think like that. Even if the person says no, it probably just means not right now because right at this exact moment, they're happy. But what happens next month when that loan officer bombs the deal or when they don't return phone calls or
yeah.
when they're not meeting with their clients in person? Like it's just not right now.
It's a test. No,
Mhm.
it's just a test. I look at it like they're testing me.
Yeah,
Like, am I gonna be like everybody else and go away, or am I gonna stick around?
you can do what you say.
Yeah, keep your promises. I know you got another meeting after this, so I want to respect your time, and I want to get your final thoughts about, what the next 5 years of your, that's a long question, and you don't have that much time. Let me think about my other questions. What's the next 6 months look like? What's your focus, for you and your team that helps you originate? What's your focus for the next 6 months, which is gonna include the down cycle, right?
Market share. That's the one thing we're all focused on right now is market share. And when I say we all, so I don't have like other loan officers when I say that, just me and my team, but they need to know what I'm concentrating on. They need to know that I want to go after market share, which means when they hear things, when they're out at the gym or when they're talking to a listing agent or whatever, we are looking to grow market share right now. This is the time. This is the time because people are tired and they're not out trying to grow their business right now.
Yeah,
And it is the time to grab the market share. So that's my word right now. That's what I'm thinking about all the time. And anything that I'm doing, can I use this situation to get market share? When I'm at the football games with my son, is there any opportunities for market share? And those are in the conversations. Those are in the people that I talk to at our school. Like, so it's just the only word, but everybody on my team knows that. So in the next 6 months, that's what we're focusing on.
so leaders do three things in this order, okay? Number one,
Mhm.
the number one responsibility is vision. That's what you just did for your team. Short-term and long-term vision. Number two is culture, and number three is profit. But the secret is, if you do number one and number two really good, you don't gotta worry about number three.
Happens automatically.
But when leaders flip-flop that, and they talk about profit all the time, and then a little bit about culture, and they really don't talk about vision, that's a sinking ship.
Yeah.
And your business, and I'm gonna finish with this, your business, my business, and whoever's listening's business is doing one of two things every moment. It's either shrinking or it's growing. It's clear that yours is growing. And I super appreciate you being a coach and being part of this and helping me. And I super appreciate your time today.
Absolutely. Happy to
Thank-
do it.
Thanks a lot.
Awesome.
See ya. Go get